Bills fans, I'm not even going to attempt to lie to you. I'm not going to tell you a white lie. I'm not going to tell you a partial lie. The truth is, this is likely the worst season y'all will have in the last 5 years.
Shut up, the Bills! It's not outside! It's not outside! Yeah, we the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, we the Buffalo Bills. You better know that. Look how we throwing and catching, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. You better know that. Look how we running and hitting, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. Reppin' the mafia, yeah. Reppin' the mafia, Bills, mafia, yeah. You better know that. Look how we throwing and catching, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. You better know that. Look how we running and hitting, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. Want me now listen, everyone play their position. Buffalo got a tradition, they say we tripping. They better get out our way. Top of the table, we flipping. We on a mission, got an unstoppable team. Continue to follow your dream, by any means. Buffalo, get in the Super Bowl ring. Cause we the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, we the Buffalo Bills. You better know that. Look how we throwing and catching, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. You better know that. Look how we running and hitting, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. Reppin' the mafia, yeah. Reppin' the mafia, Bills, mafia, yeah. You better know that. Look how we throwing and catching, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. You better know that. Look how we running and hitting, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. Mafia up in your city, time to get gritty. Screaming and yelling, we bugging. Look at the red and blue.
This is an MVP year for Josh Allen. As an MVP voter, I said this last week. Josh Allen, he looks like an MVP. When you vote for MVP, and I can speak for myself, I think I'm one of 50 voters, you look at a couple things. Who's the best team in football? Who's the best player on that team in football? What do they look like as the best player on that team in football? And how much talent is around that best player on that best team in football?
And welcome to another edition of the Coast to Coast podcast. I am your co-host, Beyond 716, and here, as always, Whittle 2K on this Wednesday before Memorial Day. Whittle, it's crazy to think, once we get back from Memorial Day, you got June, some teams might be playing in the NBA Finals, some may not. Yeah, I was Whittle, I had to do it. So, but anyway, we get through that. You got some free agency stuff in some of the sports, and then bam, we're going to be into the season. It feels like a long way away, but it's getting a lot closer. And what we thought was going to be a very slow week, we do have plenty to talk about, Whittle. So, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right, man. I know you brought up the NBA playoffs, and right now the New York Knicks and the Indiana Pacers are going at it. So I know you're kind of preoccupied, but
No, it's okay.
you know,
I am laser focused. It's only game one, as we know. It's
yeah,
and listen, we Knicks fans have a predisposition of negativity, like wait for the other shoe to drop. So I'm well aware of that fact, Whittle. So listen, get me to the finals. I'm pretty happy. To be honest.
well, I'm gonna be honest with you. Hopefully, the Indiana Pacers will send you guys home in 5 to 6 games, and
Whittle,
then
just a pain. Whittle, come on.
yeah,
Come on.
hey,
You're in Newark. You're right there. You're close to the
right here.
garden. You're
My
feeling.
best friend is a Knicks fan too.
You're feeling the energy.
I don't know if he's watching, but he might
Right?
be. But
Well, we'll get you on board just for one time. I'll ask for one more. That's it. Just one. That's it.
Right. So the thing is, my best friend, he's a Knicks fan and he's also a Giants fan. So,
Oh man.
if the Knicks were to win, I would not be able to throw in his face that his team hasn't won a championship since Bell Bottoms and 8 Tracks, because he always throws up in my face that the Bills have never won a Super Bowl. So, yeah, I
Hey,
gotta let
Whittle.
him. I gotta keep that going, man.
Yep. Hey, Whittle. Last time the Knicks won a championship, I was in my mother's womb. I'm 51 years old.
Right.
Okay, so let's just
Yeah.
let's just get it out there. But that's the one cool thing about these NBA playoffs, I will say. You got 3 franchises that never won, and then you got the Knicks, who haven't won in eons, right? So somebody's, in a way, it's probably good. It's good for the sport. You get some other teams in there. You got some newer teams. You got the pace. Yeah, that's what's interesting about Knicks Pacers. For those that don't know, the Celtics and Knicks don't have a ton of playoff history. You would think they would, right? Considering the history of the Celtics and the Knicks, but it's really the Pacers that this is the team that
Right.
being the Pacers will make it all for me. I mean, I was rooting for you guys last year against the Pacers. I loved when you swept them, just to put it in perspective. So but anyway, I digress.
So yeah, so let's
How are we feeling about the state of the Buffalo Bills at this moment?
awesome, man. I mean, we're not gonna keep belaboring the draft. We've talked uh in great length and detail about the draft. So at this point, if you've been watching or if you've been tuned in, um, you should know how we feel about all of our draft selections, uh,
Mm-hmm.
what we think they represent or fit, how they fit in the construct of the current Bills
Mm-hmm.
roster makeup.
Yeah.
And you should also know some basic stuff, like uh, what the Bills run as far as the defense. We run a base nickel, so that's a 4-2-5, four defensive linemen, two linebackers, five defensive linemen. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the Bills stay in that uh, alignment pretty much all year long. We do you get some multiple fronts where obviously there are goal line situations where you're going to put some heavier personnel. You may go five defensive linemen, you may stick with four defensive linemen and then go three linebackers, or you may go four linebackers, or you may go two linebackers still and bring an extra safety out there instead of having three corners. So it depends on obvious. It depends on the game situation or the scenario that you're in. But um, the Buffalo Bills put it on it like our cards on the table. Teams know how we're coming. We're coming with Josh Allen. We're going to run the football. We're going to put big guys on the field. We're going to go
Mm-hmm.
12 personnel, 13 sometimes. Run the ball with James Cook. Um, we're going to throw it to our tight ends out of 12. We're going to spread you out at times. And get the ball out quickly in screenplays or quick underneath routes. With our guys on the move, where they can catch the ball, get upfield for some yards after the catch. Um, so it's not a surprise what the Buffalo Bills are doing. They're building a team to do exactly that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
one of the most winning franchises in the last, I don't know, 7, 8 years or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And the glass ceiling that's consistently kept us out of the Super Bowl has been the Kansas City Chiefs. So
Mm-hmm.
and to a lesser extent, I mean, when I say lesser extent, I mean a much, much lesser extent. The Cincinnati Bengals beat us one time in the
Yeah.
playoffs like 3 years ago. So
Mm-hmm.
with all of that being said, where do we go now? We're right around the corner from training camp, mandatory OTAs, all of those things. Um,
Yep.
and
We got OTA off season
what's new
next
for the
week.
Buffalo?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yep. So off-season training activities start. When you say next week?
I'm looking. It
Okay,
says
good.
OTA off
So next
season
week, and
is
what?
May 27th through the 29th, and then June 2nd to the 3rd.
Okay,
But the
so
mandatory camp
yeah,
is June 10th through 12th. So we got a little bit of time, but we'll start seeing some traction on those start next week.
you said June 10th through when?
The 12th. That's the mandatory mini camp. Mini camp is June 10th through the 12th.
Okay, and then training camps after that.
Mm-hmm.
I believe.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So
Yep.
that's St. John Fisher. I believe that's out near Rochester.
I think so.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna, yeah. So I'll be out. I'm gonna go up there, for probably like 2 days, to go and
Nice.
watch the Bills, watch the Bills watch them in training camp.
Mhm.
Hopefully, we'll talk to the people at Do Champions to see if we can potentially get our hands on, I don't know, a couple of players to talk to, man. Especially some of the young guys. That'd be nice.
That would be
But
wonderful. Yeah. Yes.
ultimately, man, I just want to see what these guys look like. Get a good view of our young guys, and we'll talk about it on the pod. We did
Great.
sign the Bills have had some roster movement. We did sign a wide receiver. I think he's like 28 or something like that.
Yep.
Do you have the name?
Yes. Christian Wilkerson, 1 year deal.
Yep.
28 was released by the Raiders in May, and then he
Hmm.
worked out for the Bills a couple days later. Only a couple catches last year for the Raiders. I
Right.
think he had a 2 touchdown game against New England at one
Yeah.
point. I guess, but Whittle, we're carrying 13 wide receivers now on the roster. I mean,
Yeah.
so the
Yeah,
Bills.
most of those guys are camp bodies. I think this young man's another camp body, but he'll get an opportunity at the very least at a practice squad spot. Very, very talented. I did ask around about him. He wasn't on my radar at all. So I asked around, and a few people that I trust when it comes to talent evaluators. They say, yeah, this guy, uh, tons of talent, but concussions um, really, really hurt his ability to stay on the field. So, the Bills have been pretty good with reclamation projects, especially due to injury. Um, you know, but just reclamation projects in general, the Bills have done a very good job of getting those guys and kind of getting the most out of them. Micah Hyde, not Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, he was a reclamation project. We brought him in. This guy's an all pro. He's made a lot of money in the league. Um,
Mhm.
he's probably going to end up coming back at the very least to retire as a Buffalo Bill. Um, and then there's other guys that have come here, played well and then going on to get major contracts from UDFAs, et cetera, et cetera. Speaking of UDFAs, former, I believe he went to Syracuse. Kingsley Jonathan was released today.
Hmm.
So yeah, it hasn't been, nothing's happened on that front. And I mean, he's a defensive end. We have a lot of defensive linemen. We don't have a lot of spots. Um, Maybe he hits the practice squad if we do decide to bring him back. I liked him when he was here. I thought he had juice off the edge.
Agreed.
Just not a lot of play strength. I think that was one of his major issues. Wasn't a great run defender, but
Mhm.
as far as like pass rush, I thought that there was something there. Not anything obviously to be a start or anything like that, but a guy that you can bring in situationally to rush the passer. I thought he was fine. Uh,
Yep.
so I wouldn't be surprised if they decided to bring him back and and let him have him in for training camp at the very least for the for another camp body.
Hmm.
Let's see what other.
Yeah, he's a guy that showed some flashes, Whittle, but it's
Yeah,
a numbers game with us, and maybe he could get a another opportunity somewhere else, or like you said, maybe make a return at some point. So, want to give a
yeah.
shout out to Thomas out there. I see you. I want to say hello to Steve and to Tina as well. Our frequent flyers. Always good to see everyone here tonight. So onward we
Yeah.
go. But
Hey Tina, I'm rooting for the Pacers. Just so you know, just so we're clear. Okay.
Tina, you see me shaking my head. You know.
Yeah.
By the way,
I'll be. I'll,
defense is optional at Madison Square Garden tonight. So I'll just
oh, that's awesome.
say,
Yeah, I'm rooting against the Knicks. If the Knicks manage to get past the Pacers, I'm pulling for whoever comes out of the Western Conference. You know, sorry guys.
well,
So
we're gonna have an intervention of sorts at some
it's
point.
never
But
gonna
let's see.
happen.
All right. Well, not
Never gonna happen.
uh,
All right. In
yeah.
other
Tell
news,
him, Tina. Tell him, Tina. You tell him.
Oh,
Go
what she
Knicks.
said? I don't care. Go Knicks. Oh well, yeah, yeah. Go home. Go to
Uh,
Cancun after the Pacers win this
eh,
series. Let's
listen,
do it. I'm with
Jalen
that.
Brown housed the margaritas down in Cancun right now. So yeah.
Well, the defending champs don't vacation with everybody else. We're in Bali,
Well,
okay?
yeah, the Lakers have a strong hold on Cancun right now, right? Little, they've been there for a
Yeah,
while.
they always end up there around this time
Yeah.
anyway. So the Lakers are there for
That's
sure.
one thing we can
All right,
agree on. We can always agree on that. So,
yeah, absolutely. So in other news, the there was a push for a award for offensive lineman. Deion Dawkins really kind of spearheaded that. We love Deion because he's a big, boisterous left tackle with a lot of charisma, a big personality, and he uses that to his advantage. He talked about this during the awards week and throughout the offseason about the NFL doing more to recognize the offensive linemen. Like all pros are great and they're cool, but you know, I think the All Pro voting for offensive linemen. I think it's more of a popularity contest than it is anything. I mean, you do see guys who are
hmm
you the hardest thing is getting the first one. Once you get the first one, you're kind of in there until you start to stink, right? Until you have a bad year.
hmm
So they have this award now that they're going to bring out, and it's called the NFL's Protector. Right.
hmm
Congratulations to him. I hope he wins it. He better win it.
hmm
So they have this award. The NFL announced that they'll be honoring the top offensive lineman of the season with the NFL's Protector of the Year award. So
hmm
that's a first. Um, what do you think, Beyond? Good idea, bad idea?
I love it actually. They are the unsung heroes. We always talk about the games won in the trenches, right?
Right.
And you just look at the contracts that some of these offensive linemen are getting, kind of leads to how important they are, and we know how much Dion means to the Buffalo Bills. And I think it's good. I think to give them a different type of award, because we all know they're never going to win MVP, right? There's zero chance of an O lineman ever winning MVP. So why not give them another award where their peers could get together and nominate, or have some kind of voting? Now, are they voting? Are the players voting for that, or the media voting for that? Did they say any details on that, or how that's working? Or
I don't know. They didn't really. I'm sure that's going to be another one of those AP voters get to vote on that. I'm sure that's going to
hmm
be what they end up doing. I mean, it'd be nice if it was like a if there was like a combination of coaches and like a panel of quarterbacks to go, or not, maybe not quarterbacks, but I think you could do a panel of quarterbacks, or you do a panel of
hmm
like retired offensive line greats or whatever. Oh,
yeah,
Andrew Whitworth, yes,
that's a good
Andrew
call, Steve.
Whitworth as
Yeah,
well.
maybe
Yep,
that's
yep,
an idea too. You get some Whitworth, some older, great offensive linemen that maybe
yep.
could be a little. You're trying to look for as much balance as you can, right? Because we all know Aaron Cromer is going to be a little biased towards Deion Dawkins, where the Niners' offensive line coach would maybe more, you know, a, biased towards Trent Williams. And Trent Williams is an all-time great. I'm not saying, you know what I'm trying to say. It's just that's why these awards are always tough, right? There's always some object of biasness, or sometimes it's right place, right time. It's a complicated. It's hard to get it perfect. Let's put
Right,
it that way.
right.
But we all know the MVP voting last year was pure and perfect. Tell your fellow Baltimore Raven fan, just remind them again who the MVP is of the NFL.
Well, I mean, I'm glad you brought that up because this is a perfect time to segue into
Okay.
PFF started releasing some of their like top five lists
Mm-hmm.
and or their top list, their top position groups list, and they
Okay.
released a list of top quarterbacks. I know I have it because nasty. It was pretty nasty. So
Ooh.
PFF. releases a list of the NFL quarterback rankings per John Costco, Kosko. So if you want to write an nasty email, that's the name you attach to it. Number one is Patrick Mahomes. Number two, would you like to guess who it is? Beyond
Josh? Probably Josh.
Joe Burrow. Number three, would you like to guess who number three is?
It's got to be Josh.
Lamar Jackson. Would you like to guess who number four is?
Josh. No way.
Josh Allen. Yes.
Okay, Whittle. Is that I was about to go to their headquarters if you said if he was on their floor.
Now here's the this is where it starts to really like it's already interesting, but now it's really interesting. Guess who number five is?
Hurts?
Yep. Okay. Number six,
Uh, number 6. Who would they put? Stafford?
Jaden Daniels. Stafford is seventh.
Okay.
Justin Herbert is eighth.
Hmm. Okay.
No golf.
No.
No Dak Prescott.
No Dak.
No $53 million man, or I think it's like 53 million. Brock Purdy. Honestly a little bit surprised that um I was surprised that Purdy didn't make the list, at least the top eight. Uh
Yep.
I thought Purdy or Prescott. Another name that you could throw up there would be Baker Mayfield. I think Baker Mayfield's a little more
Yeah.
deserving than a Justin Herbert,
Yeah.
based on just like I get it. Justin Herbert is one, what I mean. He throws one of the prettiest balls that deep balls that you're ever going to see. He's got a cannon for an arm. He's athletic, tall. He every metric of quarterback that you want from a physical standpoint, Justin Herbert has, except for the moxie, except for that winning time gene that a lot of these elite
Mm-hmm.
quarterbacks have. Baker Mayfield has that in spades, man. I mean, he came into
Yep.
the league with it, and he had to tune it down a little bit, but
Mm-hmm.
um, these last 2 years, man, he's been in Tampa Bay. I mean,
Yeah.
he's
He's been
he's really put
phenomenal.
together some,
He really has.
knocking on the top five
Yes.
type seasons, man. I mean, the only thing
Yep.
he's missing right now is a trip to the Super Bowl, and
Yep.
it wouldn't
He
surprise me if Tampa Bay, was one of the teams in the Final Four in that conference.
That Tampa
So
Bay game on our schedule is not going to be as easy as people think. I
I,
just
I
put it
don't
out there. That
listen.
that's a tough
That's
game.
a coin flip game. That's a coin
Mm-hmm.
flip game for me. I
Yeah.
mean, I love that. I love that we have it in Buffalo because the crowd is going to help.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's a good point. I looked at them when they took Emeka Ibuka, and I was like, why would they take Emeka Ibuka? But then when you think about it, like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, uh,
Well, you
Mike
consider
Evans
Godwin's
is
injury.
older. Godwin's older, and he's been hurt
Yeah.
a lot.
Mm-hmm.
They took Trey Palmer, like, I think it was like 2 years ago. Trey
They
Palmer out
did.
of, I think it was
Yeah.
in Nebraska.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it was Nebraska. Trey Palmer really played really, really well for them his first year.
Mm-hmm.
Not, I don't think he did as much his second year, but still a solid player. And you have a guy like Emeka Buka, who's an excellent route runner. I think that's an excellent pairing with a quarterback like Baker Mayfield, who's not afraid to throw the football
Mm-hmm.
into traffic, and you get a guy who can create separation through route running and athleticism like that. That's going to be a nice little connection. But
Yep.
I'm not going to continue to glaze on
Mm-hmm.
Baker Mayfield. He was the year that Josh was drafted. Baker Mayfield was my favorite quarterback in the draft. I
Yeah.
was hoping that Cleveland passed on him so that he would slide to Buffalo. Like Buffalo would go get him because I think Baker Mayfield's a stud. I always have. But yeah, Joe Burrow over. Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen is like super, super puzzling to me. I don't get it. I think so. I looked into some of these numbers, right? And obviously, if you're looking at passing stats only, Burrow last year was on another level, right?
Yeah.
Him and Lamar Jackson were just, they just outperformed everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but they had to, right?
Mm-hmm.
They needed to go. Oh, they needed to, the Baltimore had to play, and win out in order to win that division because Pittsburgh was right on their heels. And obviously the Bengals didn't make the playoffs, but Burrow needed to
Mm-hmm.
play, and he needed to log, pretty much every snap of offense throughout the regular season just to keep that team competitive.
Yep.
Josh, Josh, not so much.
Mm-hmm.
I looked into the numbers. Let me pull it up.
You know,
Um,
one. You know what Joe Burrow reminded me of a little bit last year is, I'll give you these numbers right now. Whittle, 70% completion,
mhm,
4,823 yards, 33 touchdowns, and 7 picks. That was
right.
Deshaun Watson in 2020 when he had to basically do it all himself, right? Remember, he had a great year that
Yeah.
year. But
Yep.
it was sort of like he had to, right? It changes the numbers. Again, I'm not suggesting Joe Burrow isn't a great quarterback because I think he is. I think he's he's a leader. He's got toughness. I mean, he's gotten hurt, but you know what I mean. He makes pinpoint passes. He's come up big in some situations. I think some of it's been a little overblown. Some of it's been more of his defense, especially during the Super Bowl runs. But we'll digress on that. But you get where I'm going. I mean, I don't have a problem with him in the top four. I just don't see where he should be over Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen at this point.
I agree, man.
Mhm.
I just, I think it sets a bad precedent. Um, there's no reason Lamar Burrow does something that Allen doesn't. Mr. Playoffs. Yeah, yeah,
That's a good
yeah.
point,
You're
Kevin.
right. You know what? That's the thing, man. Availability is your best ability, and
Mm-hmm.
it kind of is what it
Yeah,
is,
it's
man.
part
Like
of the
if you, if
argument. It's like
yeah,
anything else, Whittle. It's part of the argument. It's like the old arguments with Eli Manning or some other quarterbacks. Okay, the two Super Bowls are part of the argument. It's not the whole argument, but it is part of the argument when you're stacking up quarterbacks, right? I feel like a lot of fans sometimes just say, "Oh, Super Bowl, that's it. He's better." That's just a very simplistic kind of casual way of looking at things, in my opinion, right? It is part of the equation, yes, but I can't judge it completely based off of that. It all depends on what we're talking about, too.
yep. So I went through and I looked at the snap counts
Okay.
for Josh Allen and Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow played 100% of the snaps in, I think, 14. 100% of the offensive snaps in like 14 or 15 of their 17 games. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen played 100% of the snaps in week one, week two, 91%, week three, 88%, week four, 86%, week five, 98%, which is basically everything. Week eight, 91%. Week 10 is pretty much the same.
Mm-hmm.
Week 13, 74%. Week 17, 86% of the snaps. And week 18, the last week of the season, he played one drive. And that was that. 1% of the snaps. So,
One
um,
snap. One snap,
yeah,
right?
it was like 1% of the snaps. So, um, yes, yeah, well, there you go, Steve. Exactly. A lot of those numbers that Joe Burrow put up was because he had to. Josh Allen's not going to get
Mhm.
that opportunity when we're blowing teams out, right? So, or getting blown out, like
Well,
the
Will,
Week 4 game
you want one
when we
example?
lost.
Remember the Rams game last year? We had 6 total touchdowns and scored 42
Hmm.
points because he had to, or against Detroit when Josh went wild and he had
Yeah.
to.
Yep.
The defense. See what happens when he has to. Josh Allen would put up massive numbers if he was in
Yeah.
a very similar situation. Oh, by the way, with no offense to our wide receivers, we don't have anything like a Jamar Chase on our roster.
Or T.
Chase,
Higgins.
yeah, Jamar Chase is a special, almost borderline generational wide receiver. Like he's that great. So
Yeah.
that but that's that. Again, not throwing any too much shade on our wide receivers because I really like them more than most do, but yeah, it's just 100%.
Not to mention, even they're the ancillary guys, though the secondary and tertiary guys like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I get it. Jermaine Burton's a head case, but like he's still a really good prospect at wide receiver.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely. Yep.
Charlie Jones, not necessarily a huge pass catching threat, but still a guy, still a 4-3 guy that they took a few years ago. And then Andrew Yoshivas, from Princeton University, 6'3", 215 pounds, and also runs a 4-3, or 4-4, excuse me, a low 4-4. Um, he makes some big plays for them, some big catches for them. So,
Mm-hmm.
their group of pass catchers by far, definitely, like the talent level between their group of pass catchers and ours. It's vast, and it's not to shade our guys. I think we have a good group. It's just their group, that group that Burrow's working with, is elite. They are elite,
Mm-hmm.
and it is what it is. Like we can't,
Yep.
deny that. So, um, I don't know. I just found that listing weird.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen coming off of an MVP season. Uh, Lamar Jackson, two-time MVP, won his division, 2 years in a row. Every year he's been healthy, they've won the division. So it just didn't sit right with me that was what came out. When you actually look at the numbers and um, if you look at the numbers, you look at the situation. Um, I don't know why we're rewarding people. We're rewarding guys that missed the playoffs. So. Uh,
Yep.
it is what it is. That's how you feel about the Bills. Well, we're getting ready to actually get into that. Um,
Yep.
the other noise that came out today was that the Buffalo Bills are going to be the subject of hard knocks in the offseason, which I actually love. At first, as soon as I saw Buffalo Bills are hard knocks, I was like, I got upset. I was like, oh my God, like this is definitely gonna be bad for the team. But now that I look at it, it's during the off season. I think between Deion Dawkins, um, Tre'Davious White, uh, Keon Coleman, Josh Allen, and then all of these rookies like Maxwell Harrison, I think is a guy the NFL wants. The NFL wants the general public to fall in love with. Um, I think Landon Jackson's a nice story.
Mm-hmm.
I know people are going to be interested to see what Deion Walker ends up becoming. And then there's the cornerback matchup of Dorian Strong and Maxwell Harrison. So that's going to
Yep.
be very interesting. I think the
It,
Bills have been kind of a underdog darling for a lot of the league, especially. I mean, the casual fan, not the diehard fan. It's my team or death. The casual fan across America, I think most people want the Bills to get a Super Bowl. So
yep.
it's the off season, training camp, whatever. Like, I
Yep.
mean, I think it's fine.
It's funny. I had this reaction when I first heard it. Dog. I had to hate it. I was like, oh, hard knocks. And then you mentioned a few players, right? And as
Hmm.
soon the light bulb went off for me, you said it, and when I thought about it, Keon Coleman on Hard Knocks. That is going to be that may be it's I was talking to my buddy Thomas, the Buccaneer fan we had on our pod today. He said that may be a whole episode in itself. I agree with him. That could be a whole episode in itself. He's gonna and I said, that's when I started warming up and I started thinking about, and this leads to Dave's comment, I like this too. If anybody can handle it to this team, they have a really good leadership core. And we got a lot of great personalities. And like you said, a lot of people want the Bills to win, a lot of fans. We have a likable team, Will. Dawkins, Tre'Davious White, Josh, right? We have so many guys on this team that I just think the casual fan kind of likes, right? Just the way we play. And Josh is a funny guy too. I'm sure he's going to be pretty interesting as well at times. Yeah, during this. Hopefully,
Right.
again, I don't anticipate it's going to affect us too much, but it is another challenge for Sean McDermott and the staff, I'm sure. Right? I mean, I don't know what the track record is of all the teams that did Hard Knocks in relation to their expectation versus what they really performed on the field. But at least it's not in season. I'd rather be in training camp than in season.
I want to bring up David's comment here
Yeah.
because this is the one thing that
Yeah.
worries me. Yeah, like James Cook, I know they had this thing like was inspirational words by from James Cook, and they would just bring the camera over, they play his music, and then he would
Mm-hmm.
say something like dedication, and then that would be the end of the video, right?
Mm-hmm.
They would just play the music out and then say, this was a inspirational message from James Cook, and that would be it. You just say one word and it's
Mm-hmm.
over, right? Him not being under contract, and then there's like the uncertainty of is he going to hold out? Is he going to play? What's going on? I don't know that I want that to be exposed, right? Because the cameras are going to be around. These guys, somebody may say something. I know that they'll try to. I know that they'll have conversations about being buttoned up. The cameras are rolling. I just wonder if James Cook's going to show up. Like, I think this would be good for him because it allows his personality to get out there. And in these contract situations, not only does your play do the talking for you, but let's be honest. You know, players that people like sell jerseys. Players that people like sell tickets.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, the Bills are a very good team, but if there's no contract in Buffalo for James Cook, he's got to go someplace else and get that money. And wherever he goes, you want to be able to sell his jersey. You want to be able to sell him as a addition to the team. Um, so I just think that this would be a good opportunity for him to come in and just kind of be himself and allow who he is to be the selling point to potential teams that may want to acquire his services after this season for not just football reasons, but off season as well. Case in point, he was doing a charity event at a Wegmans in the township of Newark, New York, and
Oh
that's
yeah, I saw that.
crazy. Like there's
Yeah.
a Newark in New York. It's like
Oh
30
wait, I
minutes
thought that was
outside of
when I saw Newark. I thought it was your Newark. I thought it was Jersey.
no, nope,
Oh, because
about
I almost
30
messaged you. I
30 to
said,
40
"Little."
minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, 30 to
Okay.
40 minutes east of uh of Rochester is where this
Yeah.
place is.
Okay.
So he
All
was
right.
out there, and yeah, I mean that's awesome, man. Like he's still in the area, he's still in the community. So
Mm-hmm.
kudos to James Cook, man.
Yep.
The more we talk about this, the closer I am to just saying, yo, just pay the guy, man. I
I
know
know.
15's a lot. 15's a
He.
lot, like a lot of money. We got to
Let's.
figure out a way to get this done, man.
I trust. I trust this organization. They don't make every perfect move, but I'm trusting they're going to handle James Cook pretty well here. So, yeah, I'm sure for James, it's. I'm sure he would love to get a deal done. Of course. I mean, I can't. Again, what's the one thing I've always said on this podcast, Whittle? I will never begrudge a player for getting as much bread as he possibly can, as quickly as he can in a sport like football,
Right.
because they're not guaranteed. We all know the violence of the sport, the physicality. It, cannot blame him. So I totally can understand that. It's the tactic he took of going public that he probably should have refrained from that. And
Yeah,
his brother. That
yeah,
even if he meant it in a not malicious way at all, Whittle, it's the optics.
doesn't matter. Yeah,
We all know how it is. So absolutely. But overall, the Hard Knocks. Listen, Dave had a good point too. He says he won't be at training camp this year, but you get to look at it, right? We're going to get a little look under the hood of the Buffalo Bills here, right? The facilities inside and see some stuff. Of course, it gets vetted and things like that. But I think I'm warming up to it. The more I think about it, it's just something else for us to look forward to. Whittle, we've talked about this a lot. I went through the Super Bowl years very consciously. You did too. This is like the Super Bowl years. It's even better. We're getting more content now. We're even more popular now than we were even in the Super Bowl years. Right? So just enjoy it. Just enjoy every minute, Bills fans. This is great. We're getting national games. I know a lot of fans complain about our schedule. Oh, we got too many national games. Remember the days we used to complain that we get one Thursday night game against like the Tennessee Titans and that was it? Or like a Miami Dolphins Bills game in like October, that was it. And we used to complain about that. So nobody's happy. Just enjoy it. We're prime time. You know, I love it, Will. I love the 425 games. I like the Sunday night games. Bring them on. I love the Monday night games.
yeah. I like the
Yeah.
425 games too. It's not like
Yeah.
1 o'clock, which is I think a little too
Yeah.
early, and then
Yeah.
425 is just right.
Well,
Yeah, like
I like
the
it on
eight
the
the
West
eight
Coast
o'clock
too.
game is just like, bro. By the
You know,
time
you mean you would get
halftime gets there,
into
I'm done. Yeah, I'm done.
You will come visit me and we'll have 10 a.m. Bills football to get into on a Sunday morning. A little too early for you? Is that too early on the
Yeah,
Sunday?
I'm good, man. Thanks. So I gotta put this out there, man.
What you got?
NFL wide receiver rankings by PFF per Trevor Sycamore. Number one, take a guess.
Wait, what was this now, Whittle? I got
Wide
disconnected.
receiver. Wide receiver rankings.
Number one in the league.
Yeah. Yep.
I'll say Jamar Chase.
No. AJ Brown.
Really?
I,
Now,
I
I
don't
love
know.
AJ Brown.
Right.
I love AJ Brown, but number one, I don't know if I'd put him number one. I would put him in the top five easily, but now listen, the Eagles are another team that plays with big leads, right? That maybe sometimes that does adversely impact AJ's numbers. But what's the number one over Justin Jefferson, over Jamar Chase?
Guess what number two is?
Am I going to be floored on this one?
No. Maybe.
Amon St. Brown?
No. It's Justin Jefferson.
Okay, Justin
Three is
Jefferson.
Chase.
Okay, all right.
Four is Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
I'm cool with all of these so far. Except for like Chase should be number one. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I
This is
got this. I
absolutely
do. He's just a stud.
disgusting work by PFF. And this is why PFF gets the bad rap that it gets because like nobody respects this.
You know what?
You can't respect this.
I often
Do
wonder.
it win the triple crown. Like what are we doing?
Yeah, I often wonder. Do they get in a room and they say, "Hey, with these lists,
They
everybody
have
makes these
to.
top 10 lists. There's always one on the list. You're like, what the is that, right?
They,
And do they do
I
it by
think I
design?
think that it's the off season, bro. They're doing it to drum up conversation.
Yeah, I
This
think
is
so.
this is to
And
drum up
again, yeah,
conversation.
no
It's
shade
gotta
on
be.
AJ Brown. I love AJ Brown's wide receiver, but he can't put him number one in that scenario. That can't do it. You could take that list and just put AJ Brown behind those three, and I'm good with that.
Right.
Fine.
Number five. This,
Hmm.
this, this is where it gets interesting.
Number five. How about McLaurin on Washington?
Nope. He's number 10.
Number
Number
10.
five is
AFC or NFC?
NFC. We know him
NFC.
we should know him very well at this
Puka
point.
Nakua. Puka Nakua.
Absolutely.
There
Like
he is. Whittle's guy.
I love Puka Nakua. I wished Listen, guys, if I was in Buffalo's front office, Puka Nakua would have been a Buffalo Bill,
Yes.
not Justin Shorter.
And he'd be one of the most popular players in the history of the franchise as well, by the way.
You know the type of contract extension I would have got after finding that kid, please.
Oh no.
But you know, yeah. Number
Yep.
6, C.D. Lamb.
Okay.
Number
Yep.
seven,
David was going to say
n-
that for
yeah.
5.
Number 7 is Nico Collins.
Okay. Nico's underrated. I think he's really good. So.
I think Nico's hot. Listen. I would put Nico at AJ Brown. I, Nico's a dog. The only thing about Nico is he gets hurt every year.
Yep. Hmm.
See who else? Oh, 8 is Tyreek Hill. 9
Okay.
is Mike Evans. 10 Terry McLaurin. So
Yep.
you know, bro. I'm sorry though.
Yeah. It's
Justin
just
Justin Jefferson and AJ Brown ahead of Jamar Chase, who won the Triple Crown, is
it's nasty.
diabolical.
It's nasty
This
work right there, as they say. Yep.
disgusting work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
it's
is. It's
disgusting
nasty.
work.
Yep.
It's like being charged with cleaning the garbage cans around town
Yep.
with a sponge. That's it's nasty. That's nasty. This is
Hmm.
absolutely disgusting. But anyway, all right. So we cover Hard Knocks. Oh, and then one more thing. The NFL votes on rule changes, and one of the rule changes came up for banning the tush push for safety reasons. The vote needed 24 votes to pass, which would be obviously 2/3 of the owners. Um, and it got 22. It did not get enough votes to pass. So the
Hmm.
tush push is here to stay at least for this season. How do you feel about that?
I listen. I have never had a major problem with it personally.
Mhm.
Uh, I if it's and I'm going to get into. There's a couple layers to this for me. Obviously, the Philadelphia Eagles and the Buffalo Bills have done this by far the most. Right? It's been well documented.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, keep going,
Especially,
bro.
I mean, everybody says this is the Eagle. The Eagles obviously are the ones that innovated it. Buffalo has gotten uh, much better at it over the years, and but then what's interesting is the Buffalo Bills voted to ban the tush push, which I find pretty interesting in that respect because the Bills were benefactors of it because they were able to execute it. To me, it's one of those things like anything else in sports. We see it all the time. We see it with analytics. We're seeing it in certain sports. In certain respects, some teams and organizations, they're going to figure stuff out after a certain amount of time, right? The greats always find something to stay ahead of the trends, and then eventually some other teams will figure it out. Maybe they'll be able to slow it down, right? Slow down the tush push, etc. A little bit like Kansas City did to us, at least on one of them they didn't because we got a bad call, but in other respects. But Whittle, I put up a poll today on this question because our Buffalo Bills voted against it. They wanted to ban it, right? Now, I I feel pretty strongly against this, Whittle. If you're going to walk that walk, then I don't think the Bills should run this play at all going forward. If they're really worried about player safety, if they're concerned about that, why would we continue to run it if we're one of the teams that's saying we want it out of the league? Now, I did a poll so far, only 30 votes, but 72% said no, they still should run it. I'm of the belief that they should stop it, right? If you're voting that way, right? It's kind of strange. The Bills are in a weird spot here, right? I mean, how do you feel about that? Am I overreacting to this a little bit? It just feels a little hypocritical to me. If the Bill, I'm not saying I'm going to be mad if the Bills run it, and I get both sides of why a fan would say still run it and things like that. I just like why would the Bills vote this way and then still run it? That's where I'm confused.
I don't want the Bills to run it if they voted to stop it. I
Hmm.
think they should. Um, like Josh is big enough, bro. Just run the quarterback sneak, man. Like
Yeah,
and
the
to
old
be
Tom
honest
Brady
with you,
way, right? Hmm.
to be honest with you, I don't want the Bills to run anymore because I think it's a crutch. I think the Bills got lazy and just said, "Well, this just keeps working for us, so we'll just do that." No, just let's just figure out a way to design a play that is going to get you short yardage through
Mm-hmm.
fooling the defense with motion or whatever, or just overpowering the defense with bigger guys. Ultimately, I want the Bills to be able to figure it out without using the easy button. Now sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
you know, to me, I think the easy button is just saying, listen, we're going to spread these guys out. We're going to run the quarterback draw. Josh, pick your hole, and we'll go there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We'll go
Now,
with,
is it a personnel thing
a
too?
line. We'll go in 11 personnel
Mm-hmm.
and motion the quarterback out. There you go. Quarterback power. I always thought they could run quarterback power and call it exactly.
Mm-hmm. They
Quarterback
called it.
power under Dayball was a guaranteed 2 or 3 yards every single time.
Yep.
Every single time. Because Josh just runs behind the wall of blockers and
Mm-hmm.
falls, twists, spins forward, and gets 2 or 3 yards. I don't know
Yeah.
why we stopped running it.
Yep.
Don't
I
get
mean,
it.
the other thing too about the tush push is if it was so easy, everybody would do it, right? If you had the right quarterback, I mean, could you see some of the quarterbacks in this league trying to run the tush push like Aaron Rodgers,
They tried.
or yeah, and they don't, and they can't do it, right? So
They
it's
tried. Like they
well, you
tried.
know,
I think they tried it with Lamar Jackson. He got hurt.
yeah, that's the thing. It's just it's not for everybody, and and this is true. Like Steve said, the Eagles run this in a rugby formation. They who's their offensive lineman? Did they get him from the rugby league in Australia? I think one of the guys they
One of
converted
them.
to an all
I think it was
pro.
Jordan
I wonder if
Mailata. I think
I
it
wonder
is.
if Jordan Malata had something to do with that.
Yeah.
I just think about that. If he kind of brought that idea somewhere, if they said, "Hey, I got a great idea
Well,
for
shoot, we got a guy
for
from the UK, Travis Clayton.
yeah," and we had the other
There
guy.
you go, Chris.
Yeah,
There you go.
this is a great comment too. Do a better job of
Don't
staying
cry about
relevant.
it. Keep the
Mhm.
Eagles, keep the Bills, keep these guys out of third and short, and fourth and short. You got to do
And
a better job on first and second down.
you know
Point
what
blank.
else too,
Period.
Whittle? You know what else too, Whittle? The Super Bowl champs and the Bills, they get to a lot of third and ones. You know what the other teams do? Third and 12, fourth and 12 to 1.
Hmm.
That's another thing too. So maybe do a better job at all the downs. Put Jalen Hurts in the third and 12. So then they have to punt. Put the Bills in the third and 12 where, don't give them 11 yards. Don't put them in a fourth and 1 where they think about it. So make the stops, right? So that's really the other thing too. So I get it. I can understand even if a fan still wants to run it. I'm not saying I'm against it. I'm with you. I feel like if you voted for it, I'd like the Bills to make a stand here. If that's what they feels right, then don't run it going forward. Like Dave said, you said the quarterback power play is perfect for us. We have the personnel to do it.
Well, happy 29th birthday.
Dave taking a shot at PFF. And
What
I
he
love
say?
Hurts. I love Hurts, but that's a good one. Dude, the best receiver in the league, as remember your PFF ratings? We got uh,
The fifth best quarterback to the number one
hey,
receiver.
I'm
There
good
you
with the
go.
QB. I know if how I feel about Hurts. But in terms of AJ, again, I was shocked by that. But again, I think it's clickbait, but we'll move on from that.
Happy 29th birthday to uh, 17, aka the Winter Soldier, Joshua Patrick Allen,
Yep. Yep. By the way,
QB1.
is he getting married soon? This month?
I think so. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure it's
Yeah.
happening soon. That's
Okay.
awesome, man.
Yeah. Yep. Man, this day and age, you hear so many bad stories. It's nice to hear some good ones once in a while, right? Well, and that's another angle of the Hard Knocks that I'm interested to see if Haley Steinfeld makes an appearance. Who knows?
Oh
Maybe
well,
we can.
listen, I've endured so many jokes and about Haley Steinfeld and centers. It's like,
Yeah.
well, I
Maybe
want her to be in it, and then I
Maybe
don't.
maybe Michael B. Jordan makes an appearance
Oh
after the
God.
movie together. He comes up there for a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah, you
People
never
said that
know.
too. Oh, maybe
Yeah.
Michael B. Jordan will stop by the facility. Like,
Hey, you
bro,
never
I
know.
listen. I love Michael B. Jordan. I think
Me
he's a
too.
great actor.
Phenomenal.
He's had an amazing career. He's
Yeah.
from Jersey. I believe he's from Newark.
Is
Um,
he really? I didn't know
I
that.
think he is
Okay.
from. I think he is from Newark.
Mm.
I'll look it up because I don't want to just be
Yeah.
saying stuff.
Yeah, you got me.
People,
Now you got
you
me
know,
thinking too. Now you got me thinking.
is Michael B. Jordan from New Jersey?
Looks like May 31st, by the way, is the. Dave, I thought about this too. Man, why is Josh Allen's age going like so fast? Like, could you just slow down your progression here? I mean, it was like 5 minutes ago he was 24. Now he's 29 already. So, and then
All right, so he was
like,
born in. So, I'm sorry, Michael B. Jordan was born in California,
oh,
lived there for
whereabouts?
2 years,
Oh, okay.
and then moved to Newark, New Jersey.
Okay, so he's sort of raised in he's a Jersey product
He went
basically.
to high school in Newark. He went to Arts High. You know,
Okay.
Arts High is right down the street from St. Benedict's, where
Yeah.
former Nick,
Former Nick. Who is that?
yeah,
Who's St. Benedict's?
Former Nick went
I
there.
I know St. Benedict's, but I don't
Well, oh
know.
yeah, it's only one.
Okay.
Smith.
Smith? Charles Smith?
No, God,
Charles Smith.
am
I
I
like
getting
how
his name wrong?
JR.
J.R. Smith, yes,
Yeah,
J.R. Smith.
JR.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. And we got the home
Oh,
run
who's
shot
corny?
coming up. There's a lot
Michael
of
B.
stuff coming.
Jordan.
Oh,
Come on,
come on.
easy off my boy from Newark, man. Come on,
Come
easy
on,
on
Dub.
Newark, brother.
I know
Easy on
he's
the
not from
bricks,
Philly.
man.
I know he's not from Philly, but that's all right. Well,
Easy on Brick City, man.
Then Matt says, "What if we'll only have 11 years of Josh? 11 years left." Hey, from your lips to the football god's ears, let's make it 15.
No, bro.
We'll,
If
we'll take
Josh
it.
can play till he's 40, listen,
I'm good.
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be
We
good.
should have 4 or 5 Super Bowls by then.
Oh, I hope so. Oh man, just let's start with.
I'm gonna say 3. I
I
think
just want to. What
Josh
else?
gets 2,
I just want to
maybe
start with
3.
one, and we'll go from there. But
Yeah,
it's funny you
yeah,
just
man.
mentioned J.R. Smith. I just saw a picture of Carmelo sitting with J.R. Smith at the game tonight. So there you go. It's like you put it in the air and it was right there. So, by the way,
3-point game, man.
I know
Going into the fourth.
I'm getting a little antsy over here, Whittle.
Come on,
Whittle,
Indy. Come on, Indy.
Whittle.
Pull
Those
it. Listen,
cute,
I need
those
Indy to get game 1. If Indy gets game 1, that's gonna put a lot of humble into the Knicks fans.
yeah.
Because y'all been running around like
Hey, I
like
haven't been
like
that bad. I haven't been that bad. You have
No,
though.
you haven't.
I'm a real
You haven't
listen.
been as bad
If
as
we win the
like
chip,
Tina and Monty.
if we win
Some
the
of the
chip, if we win the chip, I will be a little. I mean, I won't go bananas, but I'll just be so happy. It's like,
they're gonna destroy Midtown. They're gonna destroy it.
oh man,
That
just
entire area near the garden, they're gonna destroy it.
rest in peace. 33rd, 7th to like what 42nd, and like that area, like that. Those 10 blocks around there are done. Like you might as well say goodbye.
Nah, dog, we
Rest
claiming
in
North.
peace.
I'm sorry,
Rest in peace,
We're
Nicky
claiming
Cowboy.
him. We're claiming him. Oh yeah. Jim Irsay. Jim
Yeah.
Irsay passed away, so rest
Oh
in
yeah,
peace to
that's
him.
right. Only 65. Well, there've been stories about Ursay and the lifestyle
He likes to
that
party, man.
he likes to party.
He was a
Again,
party
I'm
guy.
not
Apparently,
saying that.
allegedly,
Well,
allegedly,
he just
allegedly.
tweeted today about the Pacers, and he felt it's interesting how he died in his sleep this afternoon.
Yeah.
Usually, don't hear people dying in their sleep in the afternoon. Just saying. I'm not saying there's any funny business or anything. I'm just saying that. And listen, I
Right.
think every family's got a right to keep it private. I mean, maybe he did, whatever. But yeah, so interesting to see what happens to the Colts now. I'm not sure what their contingency plan is for that. If they're going to be for sale, or if they have ownership. Or say have kids that will take the team. Because Pagula's already getting that ready. To Jessica. So and then so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, man. So we're winding down. We'll get
Mhm.
out of here and so Beyond can get back to his Knicks game, and
So
I can get
I
back
could
to
be
hate watching.
I could be in torture for the next half hour, 45 minutes.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Oh,
I'll definitely be hate watching. I'm pulling for the
yeah.
Pacers. Listen, I
Uh,
want the Pacers to win this
ah,
series so I can do like this to every Knicks fan I see. I can
hey,
just go right up to them and just
listen,
do this.
My pet, that is one of my biggest pet peeves in my sports life. I was at Game
Yeah.
7 in the '94 Finals, Whittle. I was there when Patrick Ewing made the end one. Reggie Miller had a total of how many points in the fourth quarter, Whittle?
I think zero.
See that big
Yeah.
zero right there? See that big fat
Yeah.
zero? That's what bothers me is nobody remembers that. Oh, it drives me crazy. It just
Nobody remembers you
I get
guys
the
actually won
optics.
that series. Yeah.
I know everybody remembers Spike Lee talking to our Reggie and then the chokes. I got to admit though, that was pretty. It was pretty nuts when that did happen.
Epic, epic.
It was pretty
That's why I
epic.
said, man, the Garden is known for. It's not known
Yeah.
for what the Knicks have done. It's known for what other players have come into the Garden and done. In basketball, that's how it is. I mean,
Yeah,
obviously you have
it's
Messier. Obviously you have Messier, and you have the '94 Rangers. You have all that stuff. You have a
we're
bunch
good.
of
Well, we're gonna
elite,
rewrite
great,
some
big
history.
moments in the Big East tournament. I'll never forget.
Hey, by the
I'll
way,
never forget the Kemba Walker step back. That was crazy.
hmm
Uh, another Big East final moment that will go down in history is the what was it, the Jerry
the six
McNamara
overtime game.
yeah, that one. Then you have
But
the Ray Allen versus Allen Iverson,
oh yeah, that was
UConn
great.
versus Georgetown final.
By
Yeah,
the way, shout out to AI to see him on the schedule release thing. That was pretty cool. By the way,
yeah, that was cool.
I did like that. That was pretty clever.
I
Um,
love that because it's kind of like the Bills. It's that dynamic between Josh being a younger player, and then being an older general manager. It's kind of like the
yeah,
Bills fan base where we have young guys
yeah,
who
we
want to
did.
jump through tables and go crazy and drink beer down the cracker girls' butts in the parking lot, and then you have the older crowd who like, bro, we just want to tailgate and win a Super Bowl, bro.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
all of that table jumping stuff. I mean, that's
let me
not my
tell
speed. You can see by the gray, I'm of the older generation.
you.
Bro, I just want to
It
go to
just means you're
games and chill
wise,
and win,
little. It
man.
just doesn't mean you're old. You're just wise. That's all this is. I mean, it doesn't mean
There
you're
you
old.
go, man. Yeah,
You
that's
know.
right. I like
But
the spin you gave right there. That was
listen,
cool.
that's what I do. It's what I do for a living, man. So no, but listen, next we're changing the script here. Next this year, preseason. I saw a preseason top 25 for college basketball. St. John's is number 2 right now in the country next year. So maybe we'll flip this. Maybe we'll
Okay.
make the guard super special next year for basketball. So we'll see how that goes going forward. But
Yeah, man.
anyway, but a great week for the Bills. Was there? And then we got Hard Knocks coming up. You got the Hallmark thing coming up.
Yeah,
The
the Hallmark
movie.
movie,
Yeah,
love story,
we got
touchdown, or
prime.
whatever it's called.
Yeah. We got OTAs coming up. We got primetime games to get used to, and then we got training camp. It's coming around the corner. I mean, this is a very
Football's
exciting
almost
time.
here, guys.
I know you can kind of smell it, right? Just get through a little bit of summer. But we'll be here through the summer with them. We'll start breaking down. We'll start easing our way into the season. Maybe after Memorial Day, we'll start right unpacking some things as we set you up for a great 2025 season coming ahead. So David said UFL's on. Don't forget about the UFL. Okay, there
Oh
you go.
God. Yeah.
Oh, it's
Okay.
the UFL.
Bro, I can't get into it, man. I tried, bro. It's so
You
bad.
know what? And it's no disrespect to the guys that are playing there, and I applaud them and I root for them. But you're right. You know what it is, Little. Sometimes I need a break. I like the break football has personally. I don't from the games. I like it. I think that's what makes it so special, right? I mean, don't we complain sometimes that the NBCs is too long? Do you feel that way? Do you feel the season's a little
No.
bit too long?
I
Hockey.
mean, now I
I'm
do. Now I
I'm
do
a
because the regular
yeah
season is not what it used to be. Used to
yeah.
be, you had the star players were spread out. You get a good game on Tuesday night. Like some Tuesday nights you get lucky, you get, the Penny
Sorry.
Hardaway Orlando Magic versus the, you know, John Stark. I mean not John Stark, but like the Knicks,
Mhm.
or you get them against the Miami Heat with Alonzo. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
you were able to get good games during the week because the stars were so spread out. But
Yep.
now with
Yeah.
the way it's consolidated and load management and one and dones. That's the
Mhm.
other thing. One and dones kind of hurt the NBA because you don't really get a chance to
Yes.
fall in love with these players in college because they get there, they do a year, and then they go to the NBA, and then you're like,
The
I
NIL
don't even know who
might
this
change
guy
that a
is.
little bit in some
It
cases.
should. You're right. It should.
You
Yeah.
know, Zuby Ejiofor from St. John's, he could have easily went pro this year, but he decided to stay another year. Yeah, he's a guy that we fall in love with as a player, and he's just going to get more popular in New York. Yeah, but now if he goes in the draft next year, he's gonna be But yeah, and listen, load management. I agree with you, and it's just
Terrible.
even if listen, even if these teams said, look, maybe you don't play 45 minutes tonight. Maybe I play 25 minutes, right? Yeah, I know David Brunson's at 5 fouls. I'm very aware, even though we are up 7 at this point, but I'm feeling a
Come on,
little.
referees.
Yeah, I know. Oh, please.
Get the subway gnome out of there.
Oh man, Whittle. I don't know. What am I gonna have to do to turn you over to?
You're never
Just
going to
one.
turn me to the Knicks.
Nah,
Never. It's never going to happen.
never gonna
Never.
happen. All right.
Never.
Oh
Never.
man.
My
Yep.
late father was a Knicks fan, and I want him
Okay.
to spend eternity waiting to see a
Oh,
championship.
Whittle.
That's right.
Okay,
I want him.
that
Even in the
that
afterlife,
statement
I
right
wish him
there.
no peace when it
That
comes to his
statement,
sports
Whittle.
teams.
That statement right there says it all, ladies and gentlemen. There's no
Even in
turning
the
around.
afterlife. That's right.
Wow, I turned it off. Oh man. Yeah, we'll see. But
Oh God,
hopefully
man! If
fingers
my
crossed.
pops was here, man, he listen. The amount of stuff that people say to me on Twitter or in comments or in spaces or whatever, like
Hmm.
my father would absolutely be on my neck about this. The Knicks beating the Celtics. I would never hear the end of this. Never. Never.
he's you could probably hear him right now if you just close your eyes enough. I'm sure
Oh,
he's you know.
yeah.
Yeah,
Listen,
that's
that
that the Knicks are the one thing that bonds me and people like Petey and June, all the Jet fans that we talk. That this is our one thing that we agree on. And that's it. That's what we draw the line. And June likes St. John's. That's the other good thing. But other than that,
Excuse me, Tina. We're not in Cancun. We're in Bali, and we are eating surf and turf right
oh,
now.
okay. Valley.
Okay.
It's a nice
Yeah.
place. It's got good weather. Not too bad. So just enjoy the view.
But don't you worry, Tina. The Knicks will be in Cancun very soon. You see how tough
Yep.
these Pacers are playing you right now. It's only game
Hmm.
one.
Yep.
You are in for a
Yep.
series.
And Edmonton's up 3-1
All
on Dallas in hockey for all you hockey fans. Always something good on this time of year. This is a good time of year. By the way, YouTube
yeah.
has a cool thing. You could split the game like the hockey and the basketball. It's kind of cool.
Well, YouTube TV.
Yeah, YouTube TV. Like
Oh
tonight,
wow.
you could say Edmonton, like because you got the hockey going at the same time. You can say split
Hmm.
it and just highlight one of the screens if you want to hear the sounds. It's pretty cool. It's pretty nice. They do that. So if you kind of like me, I like both sports. Sometimes I want to watch both games. So I'm like, hey, I'll put that on. So anyway, and yeah, I think that's all I had about the Bills right now.
Yep.
It was a pretty lively week. Oh, the other thing they did shoot down really quick was the reseeding of the NFL teams in the playoffs. Looks like Detroit. I guess
Yeah.
they. What do
Good.
you think about that? I just want to get your quick
I
thoughts on
didn't
that.
like it. Listen, man. It is what it is. I like the fact that they reseed every round. So
Mm-hmm.
whoever the lower seed is goes to the lowest seed goes to the highest seed. I'm good with that.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I need. That's
I
all they
agree.
need, man.
And,
That's
and
it.
you know,
So
and to me, it's a moving target, Whittle. There are going to be some years where, the AFC West champion is going to be 9-8 and they're going to win, right? Or maybe one year the Bills go 9-8 and they win the AFC East, right? Or it's not like it's always one division all the time. It's a cyclical thing. It does move. So I'm good with it. To me, it's just you got to keep the division still means something, right? I mean, if you reseed, you might as well just have no divisions. What's the point? It means nothing.
right,
And
right.
I don't think that's a good idea. I think that's something the league doesn't want. So, but that's where I stand on that front.
I agree, man. I agree. So
Well,
let's put a bow on this thing. Once
well,
again,
have
ladies and
a
gentlemen, thank you.
have a
What's up?
great Memorial Day weekend, everyone. Get some good rest and relaxation, and enjoy the games. Enjoy hopefully some good weather by you. It's hotter than
Oh no, it's raining, bro. It's
it's
been
hot.
raining it's been raining and
Yeah,
cold all day.
it's brutal down here in Florida right now. No man, there's a reason I come here in January, February. I'll just say
Oh,
that.
I'm sure it's like
Yes.
baking out there. Yeah,
Oh yeah, it's
Jesus.
like the second you step outside, mosquitoes like eat me alive like in 5 minutes, man. They just find their way like right on me, It's just Florida's. But it's good. But yeah, but I'll be back in cooler California next week, late next week. So heading back.
All right, great.
All right,
So we
well,
got
we
one
have a
more
great
week of
weekend.
you on the same
Yeah,
time,
same
in the
time,
same
then
time zone, and
back to 6 o'clock again. I can't wait. All right, Whittle.
all right, all
Always
right,
a
man.
pleasure.
Take it easy,
Thank you.
brother.
I want to thank everybody. I just want to give a little shout out to one of my Saber compadres from our pod, Real Deal Prime. We do have a Sabres pod on Saturdays, by the way. Listen for great content here on Do Champions. There's a lot of great shows out there. Whittle Patrick's doing a Friday Night Lights late on Friday nights. Have you heard about this? He plays Madden and he talks about the Bills at 11:30 at night on Friday nights, called Friday
That's
Night Lights.
dope.
So maybe we can get a game on there. Maybe between you and Pat, we could talk some Bills. I don't know.
You
Figure
played,
something.
bro. I played Pat already. Pat smoked me, man. I need to
Oh
get a rematch
wow!
though. Yeah,
And
I
you're
need to get a
good like
rematch.
that. Little he played me. It was non-competitive. It was like 58
Yeah,
nothing in like the third, fourth quarter. Like I got to think of a way to at least keep it a little respectable. And by the way, the Knicks are up
yeah.
11 by the way, so go
Oh,
enjoy the game. Go enjoy the
all right,
game.
all right. I'm not gonna enjoy
By
that,
the way, thank you
but
everybody.
whatever.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Steve. You guys are great. Always enjoy Dog. Everybody is always great. Great comments as well. And
All
that's all I
right.
got. Have a great one. Go
That's
Bills.
go Bills.